Breaking news from CBS News Philadelphia. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jan Carabeo. We're about to get an update on flash flooding that has already killed at least 3 people in Bucks County over the last 24 hours. A press conference is happening right now. Let's listen in.
In a flash flood along the 1000 block of Washington's Crossing Road between Stonebridge Crossing Road and Wrightstown Road. At that time, there were approximately 11 vehicles on the road. The flash flood occurred sometime after that. We believe approximately 11 cars were on the road, 3 were confirmed swept away. Rescue crews were able to establish a command post, an operational forward position. We rescued 8 people from the cars and 2 people from the creek. We have currently 4 confirmed fatalities, 3 confirmed fatalities and 4 are missing. Search teams have actively searched the river banks and the creek banks from the Delaware River up to the flood site on 532, and we are continuing to do that operation today. Assets from the Southeastern Regional Task Force from Philadelphia and Montgomery County are also involved. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family at this time. We are not going to release any names out of respect for the families. Search teams continued last night until dark. There was a minor search team left in the area to continue, and at first daylight we deployed USAR teams to the site, and we are now working what we call along the Hughes Creek. It's H-O-U-G-H-S. At this time we have assets in place for the next 12 hours, and we will have an update at 11:30 this morning for the press. Damage assessment teams are out right now assessing the damage not only to the roads but also to any homes that might have been affected by this. And at this time we have approximately 100 people in the field. Chief.
Yeah, police department assets are here to support the active recovery that's ongoing. And again, we ask all of you to keep your thoughts and prayers for the family of the missing people.
The American Red Cross has set up in the Yardley Makefield Fire Company in Yardley Borough on South Main Street for anyone that needs some assistance. And I do not have a contact, but it's the Yardley Makefield Fire Company, South Main Street, Yardley Borough, PA. I'll take a few questions, but.
What's this rescue look like? What does it entail? Do you have boats in the creek, or what's
As of right now, the flash flood is over. We have assets in the creek. Search and rescue are physically walking the creek banks, and in the creek we're accessible. This is a very inaccessible area of the township. It is steep cliffs on both sides in some areas. There is no direct access to the creek except from Aqueduct in Taylorsville and Taylorsville, or I'm sorry, Route 532 at the 1000 block of Washington's Crossing Road. So we are physically walking. We have about 75 down there now, actively looking, rescue workers. We are treating this as a rescue, but we are fairly certain we are in a recovery mode at this time.
What's the relationship between the 3 people deceased and the 4 people missing?
We have one family has been severely affected right now, and that's all we can say at this point.
Do you have an age range of the victims?
9 months old to 63 years old.
With the activation of the urban search and rescue teams, is that the statewide PA task force?
It's a regional one right now. That our assets are technically assets of the state, but it's a region thing.
Okay, and you have authorities from New Jersey, I think, as well?
We had assets from New Jersey involved as well. Last night, I do have an asset in the river as we speak, just checking the river. We have recovered all 3 vehicles in the creek. One was found approximately 1.5 miles from where it went in.
We've been told this happened very quickly. Did the people involved have any indication they were
witness? No, I can say as a witness to that, in my 44 years, I've never seen anything like it. We had approximately 6.5 to 7 inches of rain in under 45 minutes. When the water came up, it came up very swiftly. We do not think that anybody drove into it, that they were actively on that road when it happened.
Was the road flooded when?
The road was approximately 4 to 5 feet of water over the road.
After after those families had already been on the road? They
Yes.
didn't drive into flood?
They didn't, we do not believe they drove in, no.
Can you confirm that a 9-month-old baby is among those missing?
Yes, 9-month-old.
Missing or?
Missing.
Okay.
And the other 3 missing, are they relatives or family members of that baby?
Yes. And that's all I can confirm at this time.
So the missing, not the deceased isn't 9 months old. The missing is 9 months
The
old.
missing is 9 months old.
And the age range from the deceased?
We got everything from a 40-year-old to a 60-some-year-old as well. So there's 3 adults that have been recovered. They are the confirmed deceased.
Chief, are they all local people, or are they from
No.
New Jersey?
No,
They're from all over.
all over.
All over.
Is there, can you tell us how emergency 911 was contacted? Were the people in the cars contacting?
No, believe it or not, initially the fire department was dispatched for a lightning strike to a pole in that area. Upon our arrival, we discovered 11 vehicles, what we think is 11 vehicles in the water. We witnessed 3 of them swept away. We have recovered and have found all 3 of those vehicles. So initially, just by happenstance, we were dispatched prior to that for a wires down call.
You told us the 3 people who were found dead were found outside of their cars. Do you know what the circumstances were?
No, we know that at least 2 were swept away because they got out of their vehicles, and 1 was definitely in the vehicle and was swept away. We have found all 3 vehicles, and there was nobody in those vehicles. We know for a fact that 1 was in one of the vehicles.
How are your crews doing with all of this?
They're hanging in there right now. We have grief counselors that are available to the first responders, but for the most part, been very proud of the crews, and I need to thank a multitude of surrounding communities that sent help. We had crews as far away as an hour-and-a-half's drive respond to this last night. We had well over 150 people last night searching the creek. It was, as I said, this creek is in a very awkward area. It's a very remote, hard-to-access area. We used a lot of types of rescue systems last night to haul both the deceased and the wounded out. We recovered 2 from the creek, and they had to be hauled out with rescue systems and rope rescue systems. So, yeah, it was a very exhausting night.
And emotional, I'm sure.
It was very, yeah. Oh, yeah, it was pretty tough.
So this search is being taken along the creek?
This search is active along the Hughes Creek, all right, from the Delaware River all the way back up about 2.3 miles back to where the vehicles went into the water.
You said 11 cars were on the road.
Approximately 11, yeah.
Have you made contact with and searched each of those cars?
Yes, and that's how we determined the missing. We were able, through the police department, we were able to ascertain license plate numbers, contact relatives, figure out who was in that car at the time, were they missing, and that's how we came up with the 4 people that are missing.
When you say 11 vehicles on the road, do you mean parked or driving?
They were driving on the road when the flash flood occurred, approximately.
Can you describe how a car could possibly get swept a mile and a half away from where?
As I said, in my 44 years of service, I thought Hurricane Ida was the benchmark last September or the September before. I thought that was the benchmark. This is the new benchmark. We had fire, we had water over the top of one of the command vehicles, and they were able to get out. So we're looking at 5 feet of water on that road. And it came on very suddenly. Talking to the first on-scene fire officer, who has more time in it than I do, he's never seen like it either. He says it just rose that fast, and it was violent and fast-moving. And as I said, the access points to this area that we're in are very few and far between.
I know these types of searches can be pretty precarious for the searchers. What type of precautions are you guys taking, especially now as it's starting to rain?
Weather conditions are being monitored. As it was last night, we got several flash flood warnings after the first wave went through. We were out there in the downpours, and our concern was we were going to get another one. I believe that flash flood is well into this week as well. So what's happening right now, we have crews that all they're doing is monitoring weather conditions and water levels. Some of the search teams are going to be in a very peculiar area where they're going to be trapped if they're not careful. So that's why we have a weather team watching. So at this point, it is dangerous down there. There is debris down there that we are also have to catalog. But at this point right now, we're waiting to see what the rescue teams can find.
Are you able to specify the genders and the ages of the 3 deceased? I know you give a range. Is it 2 women and 1 man, and how old were they?
It's 3 females and 1 male.
No, it was 2.
No, it was 2.
Yeah, you added too many. It's 2.
It's 2 and 2, right? Because we're missing 4.
Oh, we're missing, yes.
So yeah, we're missing 3 females and 1 male. Age range, 9 months to 63 years old.
Yes.
And the deceased, 3 deceased, what's the distribution of age and gender?
I don't have that right now.
It was 2 females and 1 male for the deceased.
They were adults.
All adults.
All adults. Any other questions?
No.
Thank you very much for your time.
I forgot to get that in, but that's okay.
You've been listening live to officials there in Bucks County detail what happened there when flash flooding moved into the area of Washington Crossing Road. We're going to recap that after we head over to meteorologist Tammy Sousa, because she has been looking at all of the conditions that not only people were facing yesterday, but also the conditions that are still happening out there right now. She's also looking ahead to what's next. Tammy.
Yeah, Jan, this is one thing I want to mention again. Most people don't understand this. The #1 weather killer worldwide is heat. Behind that is flooding. Within that is flash flooding. That's where the most deaths occur and injuries, and the most occur in cars. So you have to understand that the weather killer in all of this, and the thing that you can be injured from, is flash flooding, and if you're in your car. So if you encounter a flooded road, and these people did not, clearly, this was like a tidal wave of water that came at them because it fell in such a short period of time and it funneled into such a tiny area. But if you come across a flooded road and that water is moving, turn around, find another route. You don't know how deep it is, and a foot of fast moving water, that's all it takes, is 1 foot of fast moving water. It can carry away a vehicle very, very quickly. That water is very strong. Everything becomes very buoyant. Expect plenty of closures and detours throughout the area today. Maybe where you are, nothing will happen, and you're very lucky. But just a couple miles away, there may be heavy rain, and they may be dealing with that. So if you have plans today, just be weather aware. Plan ahead, take a look at the radar, pay attention to what's going on so that you don't get caught up in a traffic jam or in a flooded area. These are all the storm reports that have come in. I want to quickly show you these. Right in here is the upper Makefield Township, where they had all of that heavy rain. Over 6 inches of rain fell in a short period of time. So that's ongoing. This was overnight. This is what was going on this morning. We ended up having a number of water rescues up into Northampton County, a bridge that had chunks of concrete float away. We did have a basement collapse. There was somebody trapped in a trailer on flooded property. There was a car that floated into a bridge on the road. No word as to where the people are or if they're all right. So still ongoing in some places. So right now in the upper Makefield Township, in this area, some light sprinkles are going on. We do have another batch of heavier rain, perhaps a few claps of thunder headed in that direction. All the way down the shore, we're starting to see that steadier, heavier rain turn into just a light to moderate rain. But we do have, it looks like at this point, some heavier rain coming in from Delaware. So all the way from Little Lake Harbor to Mays Landing to Atlantic City, that's where we have this moderate rain, and then we just have sprinkles down toward Cape May. This cell coming across the Delaware Bay, this sat on top of central and southern portions of Delaware for 3 hours, created flooding. Now it's just broken apart. It's moving over to South Jersey toward all of you in Cumberland and Cape May County. Up to the north in Wilmington and off into perhaps up into Chester County, West Goshen, just clearing New Garden and Newark. You're still involved in it. We have another cell. There's lightning associated with this, some brief heavy downpours. We also have a brand new flash flood warning that's been issued for part of Chester County, including all of you in West Goshen. And this is now moving toward Philadelphia. It's up toward Norristown right now. And from Norristown, we go right on up into the Lehigh Valley. We're looking at Richland with some light showers. But if you get down to lower Salford, that is where you are looking at some steadier showers. So all of this is moving northeast, but it's moving more north than it is east. So it's very slow to get out of here, training over the same areas again and again and again. You can see that right here, and that's why we see the potential of flooding. It's setting up again right here, right along the I-95 corridor and in lower Bucks, Montgomery County, Chester County, Delaware County. So that's what we have to keep an eye on. I just wanted to show you overnight, this is the batch of rain that had moved through Bucks County and Mercer County, creating all of that deadly flooding and of course that flash flood that happened. Flash flooding can happen very quickly, especially if it's going down into a very narrow little valley area and then rushing out, and especially if that rain falls at 2-3 inches an hour. In this case, it was about 6 inches in less than an hour, which is incredible. Here's the setup. This is the area of low pressure that moved through, creating all the lift and the mess this morning. Even a brief spin of tornado warning in lower Bucks County. No report if a tornado touched down, but there was a warning with it. Now we have the front that has to clear the area, and we have another piece of energy, the last one that comes through this afternoon. That could create enough lift for some strong, gusty, maybe even marginally severe storms this afternoon. And I cannot rule out another brief spin up or a warning popping up. It's not likely, but it could happen. Here we roll through 11 o'clock this morning. You can see that heavier rain now moving back into South Jersey along the I-95 corridor. We're into 1 o'clock. It's along the shore. We still see this along the I-95 corridor. And then this afternoon, we get some clearing. Any sunshine will destabilize the atmosphere. That's not a good thing, because here comes that next piece of energy in the cold front, creating these individual storm cells. And as they move through late in the day and this evening, any one of those could turn severe briefly, and that's what we're concerned with. We get into 8 o'clock tonight. Once the sun goes down, a lot of the energy is lost, and then things should start to clear out. And tomorrow, a magnificent day with sunshine. It'll be a lot less humid, even though we're going to likely be either side of 90 degrees. We have a flash flood watch in effect until midnight tonight because of these storms coming through. Again, the flash flood warning here, and that one is in Chester County. And then we have one up in the Lehigh Valley, and that's going to be until about 11 o'clock this morning. Take a look at these magenta colors right here. That is where the heaviest rain fell. Where you see the light greens, barely anything at all in the last 24 hours. Beyond that, we did have more rain, but in the last 24 hours, this is where it all fell. In southern Delaware, you had that cell sitting on top of you. Over 6 inches of rain fell in just a short time, in about 2 to 3 hours. Here we are looking at lower Makefield Township, 6.1 inches of rain reported, and that fell in a short period of time. And along that line, we had anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of rain. And then up into the Lehigh Valley, we had totals as high as almost 6 inches of rain. So we've had these flash flood warnings, and we've had that mess going on all morning up in Northampton County. On top of that, we do have a a marginal risk of severe weather. The slight risk is up over New England. That is where they would likely see the best chance of a tornado. For us, if we get any of those storms marginally severe, it is probably going to be because of damaging winds, but a lot of lightning and a torrential downpour with any storm that sets up over you. Temperatures up near 80 today with a little bit of sunshine, but you notice on again, off again, chance of showers and storms. Here's the thing. It gets out of here tonight, and tomorrow we can dry out. We do have some more storms on the way Tuesday. They do not look like anything that we have dealt with in the last 3 days. We're dry on Wednesday, and another chance of storms on Thursday. Jan, I'm going to send it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Appreciate that. We want to recap what happened in that press conference just moments ago. Officials there in Bucks County breaking down what happened on the 100 block of Washington Crossing Road late last night when flash flooding moved into the area. They tell us that 11 vehicles were on the road at that time between Stonebridge Crossing Road and Wright Town Road. Out of those 11 vehicles, 3 vehicles were swept away, forcing rescue crews to move quickly. We're told they were rescuing people from cars and outside of cars swept away into the nearby creek. We're told at this point, here are the numbers. 3 people are confirmed dead. 4 people are still missing. They have just about 100 people in the field at this time searching for those 4 missing people. They're calling this a recovery effort, but they are now fairly certain this will be They're calling it a rescue effort, I should say, but they are fairly certain this is now a recovery mission. Now, at the time of the flash flooding, 4 to 5 feet of water swept in very quickly. This all happened very fast. This is in the area of Hughes Creek. So officials there on the scene, they're going to be walking the banks of that creek. They will be in the creek where accessible, but we're told this is a very tough area. It's a remote area. It's hard to access. So they are still searching for 4 people. The victims' ages here of those missing people range from just 9 months old to 63 years old. So again, recapping, 3 people dead, 4 people still missing. Now be sure to check back with CBSPhiladelphia.com throughout the day for updates on this story and radar so you can track these storms wherever you are, whenever you want. I'm Jan Carabeo. Be safe out there and have a good day.